Gotta pull it
It's
up
kind of a
on.
cool idea, though. I like this.
I know, it's really fun. I've been having such an amazing time doing this. All right, okay, we are live. I'm here with the one and only Dr. Ross Bernstein. Thank you for being here, Ross.
Hey, this is pretty cool. Thanks for having me. It's awesome to get back in touch with you.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So, for everyone watching who's dying to know how I met Ross, the exotic animal vet, we met at a 4th of July party 2 years ago. And obviously, I was obsessed with Ross when we met. And I was like, wow. Because I don't know if you remember this, but I'm pretty sure I was like, can I make a reality show about you? I think that was probably the first thing that went through my head.
Uh, I remember you doing something with TV, and I was like, that's super cool. I'm very interested in that. But no, I mean, having a TV show one day would be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
One day, if I can travel the world doing what I love and sharing it with other people and getting people passionate and excited about animals and their healthcare too, which is something I'm also passionate about, that would be pretty cool.
Let's make it happen. This is just the first step. This is just where I'm at right now. You probably don't remember this, but I used to work for National Geographic. I was there for 3 years after school. So I was
Now
like,
this is coming back.
yeah, yeah. So I used to, do stuff with Dr. Pole. I met Dr. Pole a couple times. Are you a fan?
Mm. If I'm being honest, no, not a Dr. Pol, but I love some of the other Nat Geo shows about vets, like Dr. K's Exotic Animal ER
So
and Dr.
good.
T Lone Star Vet. Dr.
Hmm.
T is freaking awesome. She's an incredible vet. She's also a really, really nice person, an awesome teacher. I worked with her for a couple of weeks when I was a student, and we kept in touch since. And like,
No
she
way.
is super cool and incredibly knowledgeable.
Wow.
Her boyfriend, maybe they're engaged now. I'm not sure. I should actually ask. Dr. Nick, he's an exotic animal specialist at Oklahoma State. He's also incredibly knowledgeable, and they do super cool stuff together.
Wow. Wow. Well, I have so many questions. I want to start with you, but like since we're talking about these knowledgeable exotic animal vets, like how do you become an exotic animal vet? Like where do you learn this stuff? I feel like it's really like obscure and difficult to get into.
Yeah. So for me, growing up, I've just always been super passionate about every animal, everything living, everything moving. And I'm also really interested in science and medicine. So that kind of, for me, veterinary medicine was a perfect combination of all the things that I was interested in. When you get to vet school, the at least the curriculum is going to be a little bit different at every school, but at Davis, where I went, first 2 years, kind of all the students are together, and you mainly learn about four different species: cats, dogs, cows, and horses, or ruminants and hindgut fermenters.
Mm.
But then you can start to break off into your specialties when you get into your third and fourth years. And I chose every exotic animal elective that I could.
Oh.
A lot of, actually, a lot of like a zoo vet, they're actually usually large animal vets because a lot of wildlife like hoofstock, elephants, rhinos, giraffe, zebra,
Mhm.
they're much closer to cows and horses than cats and dogs.
Right,
I
that
like
makes sense.
carnivores and endangered species. A lot of them also happen to be like a lion is very similar to a cat, just in a huge body. So
Wow.
they, fortunately, those are quite similar. I mean, there's obviously differences, but the anatomy is very similar. Same goes for like dogs and wolves and foxes and coyotes, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But then reptiles and birds is another whole, and fish even. So I took all the electives that I could, all the extra rotations. At Davis, you get up to 8 weeks where you can pretty much choose to do whatever rotations you want or any electives that you want or go and work anywhere. And that's when for part of those, I went to South Africa. For part of them, I worked with Dr. T from Lone Star Vet.
No
And my
way.
family also is originally from South Africa, so that helped too. When I was growing up, every chance I could, I would go on safari and work with some wildlife vets. So
Oh
that's
my
where I got a lot of
god.
my experience from with those animals. Made some nice friends and contacts over there. But
Wow.
yeah, making the most of your opportunities, both in the classroom, the didactic learning, as well as choosing your rotations. And then another big thing is that when you graduate, you can work in a hospital that a lot of hospitals don't see exotic pets.
Mhm.
So, one of the reasons that I was lucky with my rotating internship is that in our emergency room, we accepted anything that came in. So, we saw not only cats and dogs, but if someone had a snake or a lizard or a turtle or a raccoon or a possum, they could bring it in. So
Wow.
that's something that I learned a lot about during my rotating internship.
Oh my gosh. I'm
That was a
just
long answer to your question.
no, I mean it was a great answer. Just gives me more questions. So, I'm thinking about, you know, medical school for humans. We're focused on one body. That's what you do for 4+ years. As a vet, you're doing the same amount of work, but on, how many different like if you're considering
All of them,
reptiles, all of them.
all of them.
How do you keep
Yeah,
it all straight? Like, I just can't even imagine. Like, you're working on a cat and then suddenly you're operating on a snake. Like, what is that like?
yeah. I mean that's why I love it. That variety is what's so awesome about it. Uh, I'm not a board certified specialist. Um, but that's what I'm the kind of vet that I'm going to see whatever walks in the door. I want to be prepared for anything. There are specialist vets that will only do exotic patients such as snakes and rabbits and guinea pigs and don't really do anything anymore with cats and dogs. But I mean, I still love cats and dogs, so that's I'm not going to be one of those. But it does take a lot of extra studying and a big extra knowledge base to be comfortable seeing patients that are different species and even different aspects of medicine, like surgery versus, I don't know, you could see a cat for an eye problem and later that day a bird for a broken wing and try to be doing surgery on it. And the
Wow.
anesthesia for that is going to be totally different than what you did in a cat and dog. And
Yeah.
part of it is knowing where to look up information when you don't know it. And another thing is having friends or contacts or people that you can trust if there's a problem or you need to know something. Like you're not like on an island on your own.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Super important to be familiar with your resources. Um, One of my subscribers, Lo Celso, asked, "What do you have a doctorate in, or are you a doctor?"
yes, I have a doctorate in veterinary medicine. I went to UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine for 4 years, studied veterinary medicine, and that's what I'm a doctorate in. So yeah, people call
So
me
cool.
doctor when I'm at work.
Did you major in biology undergrad?
I actually, this is an interesting story. I started off actually majoring in economics,
Oh.
but my junior year is pretty much when I had always been interested in medicine, so I had taken a lot of the pre-med classes, but I didn't know if I wanted to be a doctor, specifically a surgeon, or if I was going to go into finance and Wall Street like my parents and a lot of my friends at the time. But then I didn't took a summer internship doing stocks and trading and all that, and I hated it.
Yeah.
The whole time I was wishing that I was out in Africa working with animals or working with my dog and stuff like that. Uh, and so I realized that like being a vet is actually the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And so I ended up taking the rest of the pre-vet courses, and it worked out to be a neuroscience major.
Oh.
So I was a neuroscience major, minor in economics and psychology. That's just what it came out as. You could only have two minors, but I also minored in Spanish. I'm pretty much fluent in
Wow.
Spanish as well.
Wow. My God.
But yeah,
You do it all. It's impressive.
it's actually coming in handy. One of my jobs here, a lot of my clients are Spanish speaking, so I can communicate with them too. So it kind of works out.
That's awesome. Where in LA are you working now?
I've one hospital in Torrance and another one in Orange County.
Oh, wow.
And I
That's
guess
a
random
pretty
places here and there if they call me.
yeah, so they'll
Yeah,
call you if like a
um,
special instance, like
yeah, a
there's.
couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine, she has a tortoise and she asked me to trim his beak.
Oh,
So I went up to her. I went over there to trim her tortoise's beak. That was pretty fun.
wow. What do you use to do that?
In a big guy like that, you'd use a Dremel, which is like a, it's a like a bit that's like kind of like sandpaper and it spins really fast.
Mm,
And they're just like their beak or their mouth parts. It's just keratin, kind of like our fingernails. It doesn't have nerve or blood supply, and it's growing. And it usually happens because they're eating the wrong diet, but I mean, it could happen for other reasons like trauma or I don't know. That those are probably the two biggest ones. Uh,
interesting.
you could, if it's a smaller one, you could use like a little simple like nail file or even nail clippers themselves. Just want to make sure you don't cut it too short because just like our fingernails, if you cut it too short, it could hurt or bleed.
Right. Yeah, my dog's toenails have bled before by accident.
Yeah. But
Doesn't
in
look
those
fun.
big guys, it's they don't like that big scary sound of a drill. So when they're in the hospital, we actually usually sedate them. But when I was out at her house, I'm not going to be doing that when I'm by myself. And it's also, although technically it is legal to for me, I do have a DEA license to be transporting those types of drugs around with me.
Hmm.
I just don't want to be in that situation
Yeah.
where a cop pulls me over and is like, "Why do you have so much ketamine?" Like, trust me, it's okay.
Yeah, ketamine is way too popular for that these days. That's hilarious.
It's
Wow.
for the tortoise, I promise.
You like whip out the vet license. Don't worry. Man, oh my gosh. Wow. Well, okay. I have a lot of questions again, but I don't want to get it too far ahead of myself. So I'm curious, what was vet school like? Um, I have to say that I have seen the movie. Oh my God, now I'm gonna forget what it's called. It's a French horror film that takes place at a veterinary school. Have you heard of this? Oh, it's
No,
called Raw.
I haven't heard of it.
Okay, well, if you
I
like
also
horror
have
movies,
lived like under a rock for the last like 13 years.
hey
You probably know
Mackie.
because from that party, that was like the first time I'd partied in like 2 years.
I mean, respect. I don't party at all. That was probably the last party I went to, actually, as a matter of fact. But anyways,
Same.
you should totally watch this movie, Raw. It's amazing. It's a
Okay.
really dark depiction of what vet school is like, and for that reason, I would love for you to tell me, what is vet school actually like?
So I mean, vet school for me was perfect. It was you're studying exactly what you want to study, and class and labs are actually fun, and everyone around you is very interested in the same stuff. So it's like, and also you all have the exact same schedule. So You're all either studying, you all have your tests on the same day, and then you all have a big party at the end of the week. Or, I mean, it's definitely stressful. It gets harder each year. I'd say the first year is easier than the second year. The second year is harder than the first year. Third year is harder. Fourth year is a huge transition from becoming a student to when you become a doctor.
Mm.
The hours can be quite insane, like upwards of 100+ hours a week. Internship is even more insane, 100 to, I would even say, up to 140 hours per week. Uh,
So you just don't sleep? How does that work? You're like,
no, you actually don't. There was
you're.
actually one time during my internship where I didn't leave the hospital for about 72 hours. And yeah, it's crazy sometimes.
Wow.
Uh, but another thing that's probably pretty interesting about vet school is that not that many people know. These days, I'd say it's like greater than 80 to 85% female, which
Hmm.
is an interesting dynamic also, which
Yeah.
everyone says, oh, it's like high school again. But for me, that's not what high school was like.
Yeah, what? I don't get that. What does that mean? There were more girls in
Uh,
high school? Oh my
yeah, the
god,
odds are good, but the
Mackie.
goods are odd.
Mackie just gifted 10 subs. That is so nice. Wow.
What
So,
is
okay.
that?
Sorry. Basically, subs are. It basically gives people access to like special benefits on my channel for a month. You have to pay for them. It's the way that Twitch creators make money. Um, and that's really nice. I literally only had like 2 subscribers, so now I have 12. Yay! Thank you,
Do you know these
Mackie.
next 10 people?
So since he just gifted 10, they were given to random people that follow me, basically. Anyways, I had to
Still don't
acknowledge
really
that.
get it, but
I'm
sounds cool. Okay,
It's
congratulations.
exciting. It is a weird Twitch thing that is very exciting and has never happened to me before. Okay, anyways. So we were talking about how there are more women than men. 80%.
Yeah, a common thing that we say is the odds are good, but the goods are odd. It's
That's
no,
funny.
it's yeah, no, vet school was very fun. I lived with all the guys in
Uh-huh.
my year, so we had our house.
What,
People
all
call
like
us. We lived.
5 of you?
Yeah, there were 144 students in my class, and all the years are pretty friendly too. Like there's only about 100, somewhere around 140 per year, and
Mm-hmm.
you get super close. You're on the same campus every single day, do have the same events, you work in the same hospital, like you get to know each other.
Wow.
And my house, we had a pretty nice house. One of my roommates' parents bought a house up there that was super nice with
Oh my
a pool and a
gosh.
nice backyard. So we
Wow.
had the frat house hosting all the parties and stuff, which was fun.
Wow. Were animals involved?
Oh, hell yeah. There were more animals than people.
No way. Really?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah. I mean, in our house in vet school,
Uh huh.
we had 4 dogs, two, maybe 3 cats. I don't know. I had 2 frogs. We had a fish tank.
Wow.
Uh,
What
I
kind
mean,
of
I
frogs?
mean, Pacific tree frogs. When,
Wait,
whenever
I'm
we
gonna have
had,
to look those up. We're getting to the point where I'm gonna start looking up the animals you're referencing. Pacific.
they're just little green ones, greenish
Oh,
brown. Yeah.
cute. I love poison dart frogs.
When, I mean, pretty much every vet student has at least one pet. Most of them have dogs too, but I mean, anytime someone with a dog, obviously our house is dog friendly, so they're like, "Oh yeah, can I bring him over?" So like when it was a Super Bowl party, we would have like 20+ dogs at our house.
That sounds so fun. Wow. Wow. Um, and so when we met, you were about to move to Vegas.
Yeah.
So was that where you did your residency, or what happened in Vegas?
Yeah, I for coming at that time I still had wanted to specialize in surgery. So I was gonna to do that. It's a very competitive process where you take internships, which is very similar to a residency. It's just technically not labeled one, but your responsibilities are very similar.
Mm.
Uh, but you do that, and it's specialty training in veterinary medicine. So for that year, I was only doing complex soft tissue surgical cases, orthopedic cases, and neurological surgery cases.
Wow.
So it was a lot of fractures, a lot of ACL repairs, a lot
Mm.
of big tumors and weird place removals, and then a lot of spine surgeries. And then we actually had a couple of brain surgeries too.
Oh my God. How long does a surgery typically take? I'm sure it varies, depends on what you're doing, but.
At that hospital in Vegas, they are that the main surgeon there is a freaking badass. And I would say in the academic setting, some of those ACL surgeries, which they should not take this long, but when the residents do them, they're operating for like 4 or 5 hours. He can do one in about 15 minutes, which is insane.
Oh
That
my
doesn't
God.
include my role where I'm like setting up the room and then where I'm closing everything up at the end, like after
Mm.
he puts the plate on, where I would be closing up the skin and the muscles and everything. But
Wow.
that's still, the one surgeon could do maybe like 10 to 12 surgeries per day, but I would say on average, each surgeon would do about eight.
Holy crap. That is a lot of surgery in one day.
Yeah, so I had about 4 days off per month.
You
And so we were doing 8 surgeries per day. So that was a lot of surgery I got to do.
had 4 days off a month.
And that was better than when I was in Illinois. I think I had 2 days off in the entire year. So
What? Wait, when were you in Illinois?
uh, between between when I graduated from vet school in Davis, I did my rotating internship at the University of Illinois. So I was there for 13 months, and then I
What
came to LA for
campus?
like it was in Champaign-Urbana,
Oh, yeah. Nice.
and then I came to Vegas, or sorry, to LA for like 4 days in between my move from there to Vegas.
Which is when we met.
And then, yeah, and then I went to Vegas.
Wow. Fate that we met. I literally caught you on like one of the only days that you were in LA. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Wow. So, you don't want to be a surgeon anymore, right?
surgery is one of my huge passions, but uh, to actually become a board certified surgeon, I mean, I would have to give up my other passions in exotic animals, in conservation, in
Mm.
at least for the time being, social media and TV show.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want to open my own practice one day. I didn't want to keep working and just doing surgery and having kind of like these blinders on and forgetting about a lot of my other passions. And at the
Right.
same time, I mean, I was already getting pretty proficient in a lot of those surgeries, and I don't really know that I need to spend the next 5 years doing that when I can already do it good enough.
Mhm.
And then also we're on intern salary, which is basically 25,000 a year to have 4 days off per month.
Oh my
And
god,
so,
that's insane. Wow.
yeah, so I didn't like working that crazy hours, and I was making a lot of sacrifices that I didn't just long term, I didn't really see myself as that's like the right path for me.
Yeah. I don't
I
blame
still love
you.
surgery, but I don't need to devote the rest of my career to just that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So when you open your own practice, you'll be able to do surgery, but you would bring in another surgeon as well?
Potentially, I mean, that's one of the beauties of veterinary medicine, that if you can do the procedure or you feel comfortable managing that particular case, as long as you can do it to what's called the standard of care, you can do it.
Hmm. Interesting.
There's, you don't actually, let's say, for example, a knee surgery in a dog, you don't necessarily learn and get training on how to perform the knee surgery. Like you can read up about it, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't actually get cutting experience and like, no, okay, this blood vessel is really important. I need to avoid this, and this is how you do that. That's part of what I learned during my internship. Now, if you do
Mm-hmm.
a residency, you're doing that every day for 5 to 7 years.
Wow. Wow.
So
Oh my
I,
gosh.
yeah, there's a lot of pretty much anything you can there's tons of specialties in veterinary medicine. There's surgery, internal medicine, cardiology, neurology. I mean, very, very similar to human medicine.
Yeah.
But if you can do an echocardiogram, there's no one to say that you can't be doing that on your patients. And you just theoretically have to disclose to your clients that say, hey, I'm not a specialist. There is someone who could do this. But chances are, especially now, like I was referring someone out to see a cardiologist for an echocardiogram, their wait is like over 2 months away.
Right.
And so sometimes they need it and you're the next best option. And so otherwise the pet's going to die. So you
Yeah.
got to do the best you can. Or sometimes the specialists are also much, much more expensive and
Mm-hmm.
not everyone can afford a $5,000, $10,000.
Yeah.
So there has, for me, I think it's really cool that I can be somewhere in the middle.
Totally. I have seen these issues happen, growing up in San Francisco and having the amazing SPCA and Davis here. My family dogs would have issues and my mom would have to take them to specialists. And, like, they're few and far between. They're not easy to find.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in other parts of the country, they just don't exist.
Yeah, exactly. It's in big cities it's pretty easy to find one, but yeah, they're in very, very high demand and it's hard to get their time.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I would love to hear the story about what happened recently with your very scary injury. I was thinking about you. I was, following along on Instagram, but I'd love for you to tell chat. That's what we call the people that are watching chat. What happened and how you're doing.
Yeah. I'm trying to stay positive. Let's put it that way.
Are you
So
still not in the clear?
I won't say not in the clear, but I'm definitely not recovered.
Oh no.
Um, yeah, so on November 5th, it's kind of a scary moment that I don't know if I'll ever forget. But I mean, so as a veterinarian, I mean, we always learn different ways to protect ourselves and properly restrain animals. And getting bitten by them is always something that we learn about on the first day of vet school. We know that cats are particularly dangerous for causing infections. Their teeth are like little hypodermic needles that are filled with bacteria and can just inoculate them deep in there.
Wow.
Uh, that being said, I've worked with some freaking crazy animals from crocodiles to rhinos to lions. And I mean, I've definitely been bitten before, but this one, never this bad.
Was it just a house
Um,
cat?
it was a 15-year-old outdoor cat. It was a domesticated cat, but yeah, it lived outdoors, definitely had dirty teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But anyway, it came in. This family, they had their cat, and they think either their 3-year-old or some other kid in the neighborhood put a hair tie around the cat's neck.
Oh God.
They didn't notice this for a long time until the cat was like hiding and didn't want to eat, and then they just smelled this like horrible odor coming from it. And the owner was scratching the cat's neck and found this hair tie that was around the cat's neck. Who knows how long it had been there? Don't really know, but anyway, it was like digging into the cat's neck and made this nasty, disgusting wound, especially on the ventral aspect of his neck. Here's my dog. He just came to say hello.
Oh, hi. Is his name Duma?
Yeah, that's Duma.
Oh, so cute.
So this cat had this disgusting wound, like 5 centimeters by 10 centimeters, pretty much encompassing the entire ventral aspect of his neck. It was filled with pus, it was malodorous. It was just disgusting and gross. But he was a very friendly cat. Like, didn't care that I was touching it. It was very sweet. I did my whole physical exam, looked at it. I went over the plan with the owner, discussed that as a nasty wound. We should clean it up, put him on some antibiotics, give him some pain medication, and then send him home, recheck in a couple of days. Uh, I asked the owner, like, hey, that in the ideal treatment, we put him under anesthesia and do this so that we can clean it out the best we can, make sure none of these wounds are pocketing, meaning that like they're extending deeper than we can just see on the surface. And that we can, if there's any dead or necrotic tissue, that we can actually cut it away because we don't want that just hanging out there. Um, or we can try to do it with him awake. Like he's a friendly enough kitty, should be okay with it, and it'll probably save you like 500-600 bucks. Most of the time, people will go with that option of doing it awake,
Mm-hmm.
which, I wouldn't give them the option if I didn't think that we could do it.
Right.
Um, and we trust our own judgment. Like if like a lot of pets do come into the vet and they're absolutely fractious and aggressive and want to bite everyone's face off, like those cases are it's straightforward. Like, hey, there's no way we can do this without sedation. There's no way we can do this without anesthesia or knocking them out. Sometimes you can't even touch them without
Yeah.
giving them something, without something on board. But this guy was a really sweet, friendly cat. Like I did my whole exam. So anyway, we started cleaning up his neck, and I had two nurses holding him. I was wearing my latex gloves, and we'd been cleaning it for maybe about 10 minutes, and he started wiggling a little bit. We paused. I asked my nurses, like, hey, you sure you got him? You need to hold him tighter. Do you need to get like the cat gloves, which are some like special gloves to like restrain him, and that can protect you from them biting. They're just called like cat gloves, but they're pretty much just like heavy duty gloves. But anyway, I mean, in a way, it's actually a nurse's job to be cleaning it, but we were a bit short staffed at the time, so I was cleaning it. They said they had him, but they didn't. And he was a very friendly cat, but he just like flipped out,
Oh my
latched
God.
onto the inside of my thumb,
Oh my
and his teeth went all the way through. I could see them sticking out the other side.
God.
He
Oh
bit
my God.
multiple times,
Jesus.
and like I could actually feel him going through. I would say, I mean, this moment felt like forever. It was somewhere between 30 seconds and a minute. He just kept crunching.
Oh
Couldn't get him off.
my God.
Reached in with my other hand to try to pull him off. So then he bit my other hand.
Oh, Jesus.
And then finally I got him off. Did my best to rinse it out as best I could. I mean, I know cat bites are serious, so I went from there to an urgent care within an hour. I
Yeah.
got antibiotic injection, started on oral antibiotics, x-rays, whatever, everything. But I couldn't move my thumb at that point, so I was like, shit, this is bad. Worse than I thought. So I needed to see a hand specialist. It's all complicated with the like workers' comp situation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but eventually I did see a hand specialist the next morning, and the infection had started spreading by then, despite me having already been on antibiotics.
Oh my
So they did a mini surgical procedure. It's called an IND, incision and drainage, where and I have all these graphic pictures too, because I like to take pictures of the stuff that I do. And like
Yeah.
as a someone who really enjoys surgery, I was talking it all up with the surgeon, my orthopedic surgeon, who was doing this on my own hand, which is also
Oh
kind of
my
scary, but also fascinating to me. So he did this surgery where he opened up my thumb basically and flushed it out as best they could and put a drain through it. And that hurt like hell. Um,
god.
Came back the next day. They did that again, but the infection was still spreading. And so they hospitalized me in Cedars. I was on 3 different IV antibiotics, getting morphine, everything. The infection was spreading down my hand, down my arm,
Oh god.
and it was just getting worse. They tried culturing it. The culture wasn't growing anything, so we didn't really know what infection I had. Eventually, it grew this bacteria called Neisseria, which is most commonly known as Neisseria gonorrhea,
Mm.
which is a sexually transmitted disease.
Mhm. I've
But
heard of it.
this other, I know there's a lot of jokes that can be made, like what was I actually doing with this cat? Uh, um,
I wasn't gonna go there,
but it's
but
yeah, it's we don't really know that this is truly what my infection was caused from, but it is a common bacteria that live in the mouths of dogs and cats that can cause pretty nasty infections and some severe complications. It's a very rare bacteria, and it can cause some nasty complications, usually from it's not, I'm not going to say misdiagnosis, but they give you the antibiotics that it treats for what's most common. And you don't really know what your infection is until your culture, which is like they take a sample and grow it in the lab and see what bacteria ends up growing.
mhm.
And so it's that rare bacteria that the initial antibiotics didn't treat.
Wow.
So that's what they think caused it, but we don't really know. But thankfully, I finally got better and I ended up being in Cedars for like 4 days. That was
Oh
my
my
first time
god.
being in the hospital, and it was also during COVID.
Oh
So it was a
my
bit
god.
strange
Holy
also,
shit.
but it kind of opened my eyes to the whole human medicine world versus veterinary medicine, where I'm just like amazed at how advanced their stuff is and the different tools and neat tricks that they can do. And also, like, my nurses were freaking incredible and so nice. And the stuff that
That's
they have
great.
to deal with and do, like, they're so smart and so helpful. And, like, honestly, the nicest people I think I've ever met in my entire life.
Oh. Wow.
Um, but yeah, the scary part about this whole thing is that we got the infection under control. Like each day, I couldn't eat after midnight that night because I had to wake up the next day with the possibility of having to open up my hand and my arm to
Yeah.
flush everything out if the infection wasn't improving. So that was kind of scary. But finally, the infection was cleared or clearing. But the scary was I still didn't have feeling in the thumb.
To right now,
So,
you don't?
mm-mm.
Oh my god.
So normally, at least the studies say that in animal bites, the teeth are not generally sharp enough to cut through a nerve. They generally hit it and would push it to the side, whereas like a knife injury or a blade tends to cut through it.
Mm.
But somehow this cat bite either cut the nerve or crushed it or something. But there's 2 nerves that they want run on either side of your thumb.
Mhm.
It's called the digital ulnar and digital radial nerve. And my whole ulnar nerve is like completely trashed. And so that's where once the infection cleared, they had a surgery to repair the nerve. And hopefully, my surgeon was pretty confident that I should get full function back. But it's taking its sweet time.
Oh my God.
So this is my thumb right here. It's still a bit big and
Wow.
feeling is not totally back yet, but it is improving.
Wow. That is a seriously harrowing story. I'm shook. Um, I'm a major empath. I can like feel other people's pain and illness, and I am feeling it. Whew. Oh my God. Well, I'm just so glad that you got through that. It sounds legitimately terrifying. I will probably have a nightmare about it tonight. Like, I'm just, oh my God, I can just imagine that moment. Like, cats are fucking scary. Like, they scare the shit out of me. I can't
Yeah,
imagine one
they,
just, like, going to town on my thumb.
yeah, it was definitely going to town. I would say I've gotten some pretty good puns out of it
Oh,
where
do
I didn't want to
share.
sit at home and twiddle my thumbs or uh, this got a bit out of hand. Uh,
Wow.
thumbs up for a successful outcome, like fingers crossed. Don't want to.
Holy cow. Wow. Did it, whew, I mean, did it change, like, your outlook at all on veterinary work or, how you're gonna live your life now?
I mean, I'm back working as a
Mm-hmm.
veterinarian. Obviously, I did a whole bunch of extra training and surgery, which I can't do at least probably for the next, I'm gonna say like 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I do get back there. I did help out one of my associates the other day with my right hand. I scrubbed as best I could with this hand and put it in, and I was like, okay, this is what you should do.
Ah,
So I helped her that way, but no, I'm not seeing my own surgical cases. And it's a bit weird because now that I'm back in general practice and I have all this specialty training in surgery,
mm-hmm.
I know what I should be doing and what people should be doing, but then I have to refer them to someone who's, I guess, not as good as me and people want me to do it, but then I can't do it. So that's a weird situation.
Yeah.
Um, but
Wow.
it also affects I mean, I can speak, I can think, I can interpret diagnostics, but my physical exam is a bit different. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of it, animals can't speak to us, so you're feeling for symmetry, you're feeling both sides of their body and often comparing them. And part of the way we're trained is like I'm going to feel this part of the body with this hand, this part of the body with this hand, and you get used to feeling things, and now I'm like reaching or doing everything with my one hand, so it just takes me a bit longer than I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
And then for a while I was doing with my hand all bandaged up, I couldn't type either, so that was taking me a bit longer also doing my notes at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But we're slowly improving, getting, and also obviously oral exams, I'm not taking any chances right now.
Hell no. Hell no. Ew.
But at least I'm improving little by little every day. I got a bit of a scare, I want to say 2 week or last week when my infection started coming back and I got put back on antibiotics, but now I'm back off again. So
Wow. Well, I'm sending you all of the healing energy. I really hope and I have a really good feeling that you're going to have a full recovery. So, my
thank
thumbs
you.
and
Hopefully it's
fingers are
just a
crossed.
hopefully it's just a little hiccup in the road when I
Yeah.
look back at this.
Definitely. It's a
What
big
doesn't
vet
kill you makes you
story.
stronger.
Exactly. Oh my God. You'll be talking about this for the rest of your life. Like, oh, that one time I was mauled by a cat. I'm like, oh my God. Well, okay.
Yeah.
On a more positive note, let's talk about your favorite clients. What are some of your favorite animals that you've ever gotten to work with?
Favorite animals. I mean, I love the exotic ones. Trimming that tortoise's beak was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a little bird last week that had a broken leg,
Um,
That was pretty fun.
how did you fix
Not
it?
fun for the bird. It was more of a situation where the bird had broken it before and
Mm-hmm.
it grew back funny, and his owner just brought him in for like just to make sure that everything's okay and that he didn't need surgery. But I mean, he's gonna look funny, but he doesn't necessarily need surgery. I would say it would be a cosmetic surgery
Mm.
at this point because it already grew, his bone already healed. It's just a bit, uh, it's like the medical word for it is like a malunion where it's a bit like crooked,
Mm-hmm.
but he'll be fine. He is a very sweet little bird.
What color was it?
Yeah, he is a parakeet, so you can tell the difference between males and females where the males have like a little blue on their cere, which is like the part where their nostrils are, but their males and females are both like green little birds.
Oh, right. Okay, wait. We're gonna look at one because I want to see. Male versus female parakeet. Oh my God, they're so cute. Oh, here we go. Oh wait, can you see that?
That's a
There we go.
good picture,
Let
yeah.
me move it up. So it looks like what was it?
They were like that one. If
Oh
you
wait,
put
is
your
this still not on
cursor on
screen?
this,
Sorry. Oh my God, it keeps moving. There we go.
um, move it over, uh, or sorry, with your mouse. Click. It says keeping a pair of Budgie's parakeets. If you click that one, that's what he looked like.
Oh, these
Yeah,
ones?
right there. Yeah. He looked like that one with the blue on his nose. That one's a
Oh
male.
wow,
Yeah.
beautiful. These feel very exotic. Speaking of exotic, let's talk about the illegal trafficking of exotic pets.
Yeah. So, I mean, as a veterinarian, if people bring in all sorts of weird stuff, and I mean, we're there to help the animals and treat them and not necessarily get people in trouble. But like, crazy shit happens. Like, someone will, not that I've ever seen a tiger, but like, if someone brought in a tiger, you want to know what to tell them and know how to take care of it so that at least if like animal control doesn't get involved, like you can at least give them the medical care that they need. But I'd
Yeah.
say the biggest problem these days with animals on the black market is social media. There are people in other countries or even people in America too that take pictures with chimpanzees or cute videos where they're like playing on a cell phone or swimming in a pool with a lion, or even
Mm.
taking pictures with lion cubs. This was kind of brought to light with the Netflix show Tiger King.
Yeah, I couldn't
I
watch
don't know
it.
if you,
Oh, I
but
refused. I was like, this is so fucked up.
yeah, but people taking pictures on social media with animals that are not meant to be pets really fuels the illegal trade of wildlife and animal trafficking and poaching.
Yeah.
And I don't know the exact statistic, but for every chimpanzee that you see in like someone's living room, I want to say like 100 chimpanzees died in the wild to get that one in the living room, something like that, because
Wow.
they have to go and literally steal it from its mother, who is going to fight to the death to try to save it. And they basically have to kill that whole group of chimpanzees to try
Oh
to
my
take that baby away. And it's
god. Oh,
horrible. And people
Jesus.
don't know that. They just think, oh, that's so cute having a monkey in your house. And they really have no idea how horrible it actually is for the species and
Yeah.
for that particular animal either. Like a chimpanzee is not meant to be living in a house. Not
Yeah.
really any wild animal is.
No. So, what do we do? Like, have you ever had a pet come in that you're like, this should not be a pet? Can you ask, like, where did you get this?
When I was in Illinois, people would have raccoons as pets, sometimes, or
Oh.
possums.
Hmm.
Technically, I don't actually know the law. I should know. I know in California you can't do that. You can't have anything that you can naturally find. You can't have an indigenous species as a pet. I don't
Mm.
know. I think it changes state by state. Like in Texas and Florida, you can kind of do whatever the heck you want. Which I'm not here to talk about politics. I mean, in a way, it would be kind of cool as a veterinarian working there because you can see someone who has a pet chimpanzee, and like that's cool for me because I would get to see chimpanzees. But at the same time, like, is that really in the best interest of that animal?
Right.
So I'm like kind of torn in those situations. But here in California, they're pretty strict. A lot of stuff is illegal. Like you can't have a ferret in California, at least I don't think so. But I see them every now and then. I'm not going
I
to
see them on
report people. At least
TikTok.
yeah, at least they're pets. But no, in other states you can have them.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, when people have those, at least you want to make sure that they're getting the right diet, living in the right temperature, and they have the right substrate or footing, stuff that they're stepping on, that they have enough enrichment. For certain animals, you want to make sure that they're up to date on vaccines and any zoonotic diseases, like, because they can spread diseases that you're not really aware about.
Yeah.
And just like having a wild animal in your house poses a risk.
Yeah.
Uh, so,
Of course.
and that's if you're seeing them as a veterinarian, it's that's you have to educate them on that. Like, it's not just obvious stuff like, hey, a bear can eat you, but like they can carry salmonella. Not that bears carry salmonella. What's a common one? Lions. People don't know this about lions. They have echinococcus. Wild lions, they like to roll in their poop because they
Hmm.
don't want to smell like a lion. And pretty much anytime you touch a wild lion, if you like licked your hand or eat it or ate something off of your hand, you could get echinococcus,
Oh.
which can make cysts in your liver, your brain,
Oh my
and
god.
basically kill you. So, got to be careful with wild animals as pets. A lot of
Yeah.
stuff you might not know about.
Don't
Raccoons can have
turtles.
that too.
Wait, did you just say turtles?
No,
Oh,
raccoons.
raccoons. Don't turtles carry a lot of diseases?
Reptiles in general can carry salmonella,
Hmm.
which is dangerous for, we say, children under 5 years old
Mm-hmm.
and people that are elderly or people that are immunocompromised, so people with HIV and AIDS, people on chemotherapy for cancer,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So reptiles are potentially very dangerous to those people. Or if you have them, you should practice very good hygiene in case you do go out and get in contact with someone who's at one of those at-risk populations.
Hmm. Interesting. I have a phobia of rabies, specifically rabies shots, because I hear that you have to get one in your belly button, which is like my worst nightmare. I know you have to get a bunch of
Yeah.
them. Oh my god. So it's
Yeah,
true.
I had that scare too when I was bitten by the cat. And I was like, as a veterinarian, we all get vaccinated in vet school. So I went
Yeah.
through the series and I am vaccinated. You get the boosters in just in your muscle, just like any other vaccine.
Yeah.
But if you're not vaccinated and you have a good enough risk to get that you're exposed, yeah, the immunoglobulin therapy is intra-stomach injections, which is horribly painful.
Oh my
Yeah, they're
god.
injected right into your stomach. So cats aren't the normal carrier for rabies, although they do they are known to transmit it because there's a lot of feral cats living out there and they do come in contact with people and bite them. So when I got bitten, I was frantically trying to figure out, is this cat vaccinated or not?
Yeah.
Not that
Good lord.
it didn't have any signs of rabies,
Is the
but
cat fine? We have to ask. Is the cat okay?
it is okay. It healed up fine.
Wow.
Can't blame the cat though. For all he knew, we were hurting him and rubbing his wound, and that he didn't know any better.
Yeah, man.
But for anyone interested, uh, at least in California, the animals that transmit rabies are bats, going to be the biggest one. So if you ever come in contact with a bat or injured bat, is probably where you would come in contact with it if they're fell on the
Jesus.
ground and they're dying, and you don't try to help them, quite honestly. Like, it's very nice, but if they bite you, you're at very serious risk of getting rabies. And then probably skunks too. Skunks not as bats are definitely the
And
biggest one.
raccoons. I recently heard a raccoon attack story and they had to get rabies shots. Um, when I was
Hmm.
in Indonesia with my mom in like 2014, we were staying at this place like in the mountains somewhere, and at night the bats came out, and I was just like, well, I guess I can't go outside. I am not fucking around with bats. I'm just way too scared.
Bats carry a ton of diseases. I don't know the exact mechanism for why, but even like that's how COVID-19 started, is from bats. Like, their
Right. Oh my
natural
god.
immune system is very, very low. So a lot of these viral infections can just basically be living off of them, and their immune system doesn't, like a lot of people with COVID, we die from it because our immune system goes crazy trying to fight it, and we get these cytokine storms and then blood clots and everything.
Hmm.
And that's actually what ends up killing us. But these bats, their immune system doesn't really respond at all to it. So these
Hmm.
viruses are just like living on them. And then if they bite you or something, it can spread from the bat to you.
Oh my god. Terrifying. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
You're a hero for not being afraid of this stuff. Going to battle every day. My god. Wow. If
I
you
think it's pretty
could
cool.
if you could have any exotic pet excluding dogs, what would it be?
That is a really interesting question. If I had all the space in the world, I would have an elephant.
Oh, that would be really
If I had
cool.
water, I would want to have a dolphin.
Hell yeah. Have you ever worked on a dolphin?
Um, yeah, a couple. When I was a vet student, we got to go to the Discovery Kingdom. It's not too far from San
Yeah,
Francisco.
I've been there in
They have some
Vallejo.
dolphins there. Yeah, I've treated those dolphins before.
What's that
Um,
like? Do you
dol
get in the water?
no, we go next to the water. They're pretty well trained.
Oh.
So a lot of dolphins. So there's some common conditions in dolphins. They can get kidney stones. They get like GI parasites, or like diseases that can be transmitted. I mean, basically like worms,
Mm-hmm.
not or clostridial diseases. So
Mm-hmm.
you can do. I mean, they're trained for to do routine blood work, so you can pull blood from their tail and monitor
No
their.
way.
Uh,
You pull blood from
yeah,
their
so
tail?
yeah, they're trained to come and swim up to the side of the pool, and there's a tail vein that you can access pretty easily and draw blood. And there are studies that have we found the normal values of what a healthy dolphin's blood value should be, and you can compare them to that reference range. And if some values get, what are you looking up?
Just dolphins.
And it's called the ventral tail vein, if you wanted to be
Dolphins,
more specific.
ventral tail vein. Okay, here we go. Oh wait, sorry. Gotta pull it over. Oh my gosh, it keeps resizing. Okay, so basically you're pulling it from here.
Similar area. That's not really their anatomy. That's more of like a way that they exchange heat in the water. But
Oh.
it's a vein you can access. And then if it comes back that they have kidney disease, you can follow that up with like an ultrasound. And it's pretty cool that the treatment for kidney stones is actually feeding them fresh water. So everyone's like, why are you feeding a dolphin water when they're swimming in water?
How do
But
you
it's
feed a dolphin water?
you put a tube down its throat, and then it's like a funnel, and then you feed it
Oh.
water. So it's
Flush it
fresh
out?
water. They're living. No, it's just kind of like, it looks almost, it's like a beer bong. They don't have a gag reflex. So you
Oh.
can, if they open their mouth, you just basically shove this tube down their throat, and you can give them anything really. But
Wow.
if they have kidney disease, you same as a person.
Yeah.
You want to be drinking a lot of water. So for dolphins with kidney disease, as they get older, you can give them water.
Wow. I think one of the only exotic animals I've gotten up close with was a penguin at the zoo once. Um, and I remember they were baby penguins, but they didn't look like babies. They were pretty big. And I remember being surprised, A, by their teeth, because they were like the triangle teeth, right? So if they latch on, they like rip your skin off, kind of, if they pull.
Yeah, I think it depends what kind of penguin. I've worked with a
Oh,
couple of jackass penguins. They're a little
jackass
naughty little.
penguins?
Yeah,
What? Oh, cute. Where
they
are
don't
they
have
from?
teeth.
They don't
South
have teeth?
Africa, no.
Wow. How do they, so what
But
do
they
they
do
eat?
have a sharp beak.
Oh, okay.
They probably eat mostly like I'd have to look it up, but it's mostly like squid and jellyfish, probably some
Mm,
crabs and shells and stuff. But in an aquarium setting, they get a lot of fish. But in the wild, it'd probably be a lot of like invertebrates that they ate.
yeah. What kind of work did you do on them?
There were general wellness exams, and then one of them had a corneal ulcer, which is a
Oh.
scratch on his eye. The zookeeper noticed that he was squinting a lot and didn't really want to open his eye and was scratching at it with his flipper.
Oh.
So we did the testing to see if he had a corneal ulcer, and then we have to give him medications each day for his ulcer.
Wow. I feel like it's probably
He did
hard.
not like it when we were
Yeah.
examining him. He was very naughty.
Well, I can't even imagine. What did he do?
He had he was trying to bite us the whole time.
Yeah, that sounds about right. My dog, Bill. Here, wait. Let me get him. Bill, come here. Come here. Oh, he's hiding in his bed under my desk. Okay, here he is.
So
Um, so Bill,
he has huge ears.
yes, he has very big ears.
Yeah.
I got him at the
What?
San Francisco SPCA. Um, but so he doesn't get sick often. I feel like mutts, they like have better immune systems or something, or they're just like stronger than purebreds. Is that false? That's okay. I made that up.
Uh, in a way, it's true. In a way, it's not. I mean, there's for purebred dogs, we know, and it's the same in people. Like, there's going to be some genetic predispositions to certain diseases. Like, if your parents have something, like you're more predisposed to getting that as well.
Yeah.
So, like in I don't know, boxers, for example, they're going to be more predisposed to getting this condition called, it's just a common name for it, boxer cardiomyopathy,
Mm,
arrhythmogenic right ventricular cardiomyopathy. But like that doesn't mean mutts or mixed breed dogs aren't going to get sick or have better immune systems. It's just there aren't going to be those genetic markers that we're going to be like screening for or come to the top of our mind when we think of what differential it is or
right.
what's going on. But they can certainly get sick. They get sick just as often as purebred dogs.
Okay.
So
Good to know. I guess Bill is just very, very strong and mighty. But I was gonna say, when I've had to give him medicine, like through a dropper, I mean, even pills, I'll like hide them in cheese and he'll pull them out of the cheese and not take them. But oh yeah, it was before he was gonna get a teeth cleaning. I had to give him some like oral medication. And I swear to God, it took me and my roommate. First, we had to trap him. Then, we put him in a towel. And one of us was like pushed up against the wall, like trying to hold his head in place. because he every time we brought the dropper towards him, he was just like, like just dodging
What
it.
medication did you give him the night before?
I don't know. I had to give him
In a
something for
dropper?
like a week before. It was some kind of oral medication to like, or maybe it was after the teeth cleaning. It was like an antibiotic.
Probably after.
Okay, I
Maybe
guess
it
it
was
was
a pain
after.
medication.
Maybe he was
But yeah,
traumatized, but it was remarkable how difficult he made it. It was like a 45-minute procedure every night just trying to give him the medicine.
jeez. Well, you're a dedicated pet owner trying to go through that with him.
I don't know. He's getting a teeth cleaning in a couple weeks, and I live alone now, so like I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Like if it takes you 45 minutes to try to get him to take a medication, quite honestly, that's probably putting him through more stress than the medication is going to be helping. So like if he doesn't want
Legitimately.
it that bad, then he doesn't need it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
Like, how does he know? Like, what is up with the avoidance?
if you can't hide it in something that they eat, then I don't know, it's like you don't need to force them to do it. It's not worth you getting bitten. It's not worth traumatizing him or making him so scared that he like poops or pees on himself. Like
Yeah,
that's not what we want. It's really that's we want their quality of life to be maintained, and
yeah.
that's
The only thing that
they should be
makes
eating it and
yeah, just taking it easy. The only thing that
yeah.
makes him poop himself is the fire alarm. That does it.
Oh,
It's very
poor baby.
traumatizing. Yeah.
Hope that doesn't happen too often.
No, it happened like a couple months ago. And there were people in my apartment trying to fix it, and I was like, "Look, my dog's literally shitting himself on the floor right now. I need to leave. This is not good." Um, but yeah, it's great having dogs. Have you seen the videos of the dog that lives with like the linguist and they've taught the dog to communicate by tapping on these like sounds that represent different words and it can like converse with them?
Is that like on TikTok?
I found them on Instagram. I'm sure they're on TikTok. Uh,
Uh, it depends what the command is or like what the feeling is that the dog is communicating. Dog's
yeah.
intelligence, I would compare it to like a 3-year-old
Oh, okay.
at probably at best. But
Yeah.
like they can't communicate certain things through words, I would say. Like they can be trained to like press a bell and says, I'm hungry, or I need to go outside,
Mhm.
or if you tell them to sit or stay, roll over, bring me that toy, bring me this toy. Like they can definitely learn that kind of stuff. But if they want to say like, yesterday I chased a cat, like no way. They don't have like complex thoughts like that.
They're not talking about what they did over the weekend. It's called, I just remembered, it's
Yeah.
called Hunger for Words. And the dog
And they're
says
not
stuff.
talking about the future either.
No. It's Hunger for Words. Let me see if I can find it. Um, it's. Is this it? Oh, yeah. Um, okay, wait, let me pull it up so I can show you. So it's like, play, outside, love you. Okay, wait. It's gonna say something. Do you want to eat or play? Or when the owner leaves, it will say, like, uh, owner, like, where did they go? Or something. I don't know. Nothing too crazy. This isn't a good example. Let's see. Wow. Lot of followers. But this is definitely. Oh, look, and now they're not even colorful. Collar, blanket. What does
Okay,
that
but is he
mean?
just pressing stuff? Like,
Collar is
I don't know.
on.
I'm very, very skeptical.
Yeah, what is going on here?
Like, I don't want this to sound bad, but like, dogs are very smart, but they're still dogs. Like, we extrapolate our feelings and emotions into dogs and give them a lot of attributes that are specifically like human or in some cases an advanced species. Like, dogs are dogs. They can certainly have our basic emotions, but like, uh, I don't know. Again,
Bed, come eat.
people like when people bring me their dogs and have these questions and they start putting their emotions and their own thoughts into them. It's just like, stop right there. Like, no, your dog is not thinking that they, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good relatable example. What did someone say to me today? Like, dog does change when they're sick, but they don't. Trying to get a good example. I'll think. It happens every day.
So I had a friend who was a psychic, like that was their job, and they had a, I think it was either like an Australian Shepherd or a Border Collie. Um, they look kind of similar, right? Kind of like the gray ones. I think it might have been an Australian Shepherd. It was really sweet, super super smart dog. Um, and he could like pretty much communicate with this dog. Like I'd never seen anything like it. And one time he like left the house and he came back and he smelled like poop in the house. And the dog was like so well trained, like it obviously would never have gone in the house unless it was like really sick. And so he kept searching around, and the dog was like acting like it did something wrong, but he couldn't find the poop anywhere. And then that night, he like went to take a shower, and the dog had pooped in the bathtub because it knew. That was the closest thing to the toilet.
See, like that's where that's like exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Um, it's not like he knew. Dogs are known to, that's predictable. Like, it's not that he knew it's next to the toilet or like that people go in the toilet and that's where he should go.
Yeah.
Like, dogs are sick, they change their behavior, and yeah, they can act weird or become clingy. And if they're sick, like they really have to go. If they don't have a way to go outside, they'll go in the house. They're not going to go in a place that's they commonly sleep in. Like, if you close a dog in a crate and you're crate training it, it's pretty rare, unless they're sick, that they actually go to the bathroom on their bed. Like, they
Mhm.
like to go in a place that's away and is not going to smell up like their bed and
Right.
where they eat.
Right.
So, I mean, it could have been random that he chose the bathroom, but I wouldn't say that he went there because like he knew that, like, oh, I can't go outside, so I'm going to go into the bathroom to like to go.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Yeah.
that's a bit of an extrapolation.
Probably. I think people make a lot of extrapolations with their pets.
Yeah. Or what's anthropomorphize, whatever that word
Yeah,
is.
anthropomorphizing, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Do you do that with Duma?
Uh, no. He's super smart, but I know what he's thinking. He's very predictable. I think most pets, the more if you pay very close attention to them, you know what they're going to do in certain situations. I mean,
Right.
obviously that's why we love them, because they're still dogs at the end of the day,
Yeah,
but they're generally very predictable.
totally. I mean, growing up with dogs, you kind of develop like a sixth sense, um, where you like can tell what they're gonna do or how they're feeling. Since I had never had cats, like I don't know what they're feeling or what they're trying to tell me. But with dogs, like any dog, I'm like, oh, this I get what's going on here. I can't
Yeah.
imagine with an exotic animal. I would have no idea.
Hey, you get to know what the ways that they show pain, the way that they show that they're sick,
Yeah.
the way that they show that they're hurting. Just like dogs, if they're the most common question that we sometimes get is like, "Oh, he's limping, but I don't think he's in pain."
Hmm.
But that's like, no, he that's his way of telling you he's in pain is because he's limping. He
Mhm.
can't really say. Sometimes you or I, if we go and we hurt our arm, sometimes we scream and complain and we can
Right.
talk about it. And some dogs do that, but a lot of times they're very stoic and them limping is him saying, "Ow, that hurts." Like we
Right.
limp too when it hurts. They wouldn't be limping if they weren't hurting.
Yeah. So true. So true. My mom said that there's been like a influx of people taking their pets to the vet during COVID because everyone's home more and like noticing stuff. Have you noticed that at all?
Definitely. Actually, I had another interview for my channel called Alpha Paw.
Mm.
One of our episodes was on why are vets so busy during COVID,
Oh.
and there's a lot of theories. One of the biggest ones is that people are sitting at home with their pets all day and actually noticing that, oh, Fluffy isn't eating all her food, or Fluffy is vomiting, or Fluffy is actually limping. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good that they're finally people are paying more attention to their pets.
Yeah.
Um, but that's one of the big reasons. Another one is people are probably spending more time with their pets and doing stuff like hiking or taking them on walks, and hit by cars are way up, dog fights or dog bite wounds are way up, in the summer
Mm.
rattlesnake bites are way up.
Ooh.
A lot of people, I wouldn't say that, maybe there's a lot of new dog owners too. A lot of people are adopting pets and they
Mm.
may not necessarily be experienced pet owners. And so if you're feeding them the wrong food or you just don't really know how to take care of them, like I don't think there are more dogs per se, but like knowing that puppies should not be around other dogs or other places like dog parks until they're fully vaccinated. A
Right.
lot of people know that, or a lot of people that have grown up with dogs and know that. But like, let's say parvovirus is a very highly contagious virus amongst dogs. But
Yeah.
a lot of people they're like, oh, I want a puppy. Let's just take him to the park on his first day that we get him. And that's like a very
Oh
easy
my
way to
god.
get a deadly virus.
Yeah. Terrifying. Terrifying. There's a There was a funny quarantine moment. I was watching like a DJ set on Twitch. A lot of DJs like perform on here because it's like a virtual concert. And this DJ's name is Parvo. And someone in the chat was like, I thought Parvo was a dog disease. And I was like, it
That's
is.
hilarious.
It was so funny. I felt like I was the only one who got it. But it was fucking hilarious. It was so funny. I'll never forget that.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna have to look him up.
Yeah, he's like a legit DJ. He's engaged to Krayshawn, the like female rapper. She was big and like, I mean, she's on Twitch. She's still big, but she had some hits in like 2011, I think.
Oh,
Um,
no, I'm definitely gonna look him up. That's hilarious.
yeah,
DJ
Parvo.
Parvo.
He should.
It's actually a pretty
Okay,
catchy name.
well, warning, it's like hardcore EDM. It's like doom, 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 like really intense. But if he
Yeah,
became
most
popular,
DJs are kind of
yeah, he should be popular in the vet community for sure. Um, uh,
should blast his music in our ISO wards where we have all the Parvo puppies.
oh my god. Bad things would happen. I cannot be responsible for that. Oh man, that would be insane. Well, I know it's late. We've already been talking for an hour and 20 minutes, so I want to
No
let.
way.
Yeah, I know. It flies
Hmm.
by over here. If anyone in chat. Oh, I lost you. Oh, you're back.
I was just
Um,
trying to check what time it was. I didn't know it was that late.
yeah, it's already
It was
10:12.
fun.
Good. I'm so glad. Anytime you want to do this, I would love to talk vet animals, animal behavior, exotic animals, crazy injuries, whatever. Um, and you mentioned you have another show. What I don't know about it.
It's if you search on YouTube called Alpha Paw,
Searching.
it's
Here, I'm gonna bring it up. Alpha Paw. What? It's a lot of subscribers.
yeah, it's kind of a new channel.
Oh my god.
I just there's a that's probably I think dog New Year resolutions. Maybe like click that one. I think I'm in that one.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. You might recognize the background if you fast forward a bit.
Oh my gosh. This is awesome. Wow. Okay, so how often do you do this?
We usually do 2 episodes a week,
Oh my god. That's a lot.
and it's pretty much it's all the like common inform just like common information what dog owners. It's focused on dogs, so what dog owners should know. So we've covered topics about what diets they should be eating, diets to avoid, what to look for in a dog food, what are you're getting a new puppy, what should you look out for, what are things to avoid in cold weather and hot weather,
Oh.
traveling with your pet, what you should do at the veterinarian if your dog is sick, why vets are so busy now during COVID. Even get into some funny topics too, like what are the funniest things clients have ever asked you, or
Huh.
what's the most memorable case or funny case and stuff like that.
Wow. That's so awesome. You're doing two of those a week. Wow. Well, if you ever want to do some stuff live, you know who to call. Um, would love to get, more of your community in here so you can like chat with them, and next time we do it, I'll make sure you like have the browser up on your computer so you can see what everyone's saying too.
Yeah, I need to get a new laptop.
Well, no rush. I know it's tough to do anything right now. Well, thank you so
This is
much.
cool. I like this Twitch thing.
Hell yeah. It's really fun. Who knows? Maybe you'll want to make your own channel. That's like part of my
Yeah.
goal of doing this is like easily bringing people onto Twitch who don't have it. Because there's a bit of a barrier to entry, honestly. Like, I have a whole setup, I have a software, I got graphics made. Like, you got to put in some energy and some money to like get stuff out of it. Um, but I, want to use this space to facilitate stuff for other people who don't want to deal with all of that, for example.
Sweet. Well,
Awesome.
yeah. We should definitely do this again.
Yeah. Anytime.
Well,
You let me know.
yeah. You should probably. I'm bad at planning because I have kind of a busy schedule and I'm also very like spontaneous and last minute. So like how you hit me up before was probably the perfect way to do it.
I can do it again.
Sounds
Perfect.
good. Sounds like a plan.
I'm a fierce producer. This is a one woman show.
Let's
Awesome.
go.
It is. Well, thank you so much, Ross. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been so much fun. This is like my favorite topic, so I really appreciate you taking the time. And we'll talk soon.
Yeah, and let me know if you ever have any questions with your dog or any of your other exotic pets. You can
Thank
always
you.
ask me.
Thank you. I will let you know if I get any.
Okay.
Bye, Fernando. Thanks for watching. People are saying this was lit. Um,
How many people watched?
uh, it varies. Right now, there's 3 people watching. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
big crowd, big crowd.
I mean, that's three people that didn't know about me or you or the veterinary profession. So
Hell yeah!
trying to inspire some passion in
I.
animals and veterinary medicine. So,
This is probably the first time there's ever been a vet on Twitch, like hands down.
wait,
So we're
really?
yeah. Twitch is typically a gaming platform, so I'm trying to
Okay,
do
I'm
something
very
different.
interested in that. So I would actually love to start a Twitch if you said you haven't heard of any other vets on Twitch. I would
Oh, a
actually
hundred
love to
percent.
do that.
There are no vets on Twitch, and it's a really good
Okay,
way to make
so
money.
what should I do to make a Twitch and like a setup and everything? And I'll like literally live stream like surgeries or
You
something.
totally should, except I think one of the terms of service is that you can't show blood. Um, so as long as there's no blood that people can see, you can totally stream whatever you want. You could do it like further back, so you're not like in it. But yeah, people would go nuts. I think it's an amazing opportunity. We can like set up a time to meet, and I'll do my whole like walkthrough, and I can tell you what you need and all that stuff.
Interesting.
I can onboard you.
When COVID ends and I start going to Africa again, I will. I mean, there's no Wi-Fi. That's what's
Well,
hard.
so we have something called IRL streaming backpacks, and they enable you to stream from anywhere. So it's like a backpack that you wear that basically has like built-in Wi-Fi, so you could literally stream like in the bush. We give them to a lot of musicians so that they can
I
stream
like
like
how you said in
inside.
the bush. That was pretty good lingo right there.
Yeah, well, I
Have you been
was
on safari before?
no, but I did field work for 3 months in West Africa in the Upper East region of Ghana because I was almost an anthropologist. But then
Oh,
I
that's cool.
didn't. I got my master's, but then I stopped. So yeah, I have spent time in West Africa, and I love it.
I wanted to go there and do some work with gorillas. I will one day.
Oh, God, that would be incredible. That would be incredible. Hell yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
I've never worked on a gorilla, so I'm gonna love to do it one day.
I feel like that would just be the most insane experience. Um, I'm like drawing a blank right now, but I worked on a show for Nat Geo called like something in the mist. It was about the famous primatologist that worked with the gorillas, and now that was murdered. What was her name?
Murdered. Jane Goodall? She's still alive?
No, 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 no. Hold on. Gorilla primatologist. It was this crazy story, and I made all the promos. Oh, Diane Fossey, of course. Secrets in the Mist.
Oh, no way. I used to work for her.
You were no
When I,
way. She
yeah.
died in
Um,
85.
she has a lab at Duke where I went to undergrad, and our lab was the maybe she donated to Duke. I don't know.
That
But
would make sense.
so I guess it didn't work for her. It was like her foundation,
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Oh my gosh,
That
this is
name sounds
bringing
very
back so
familiar.
many memories. She was like violently murdered, and it was never solved. Um, but
Wow.
yeah, there's tons of like foundations and stuff. Um, Let's see. Diane Fossey Duke. The Fatal Obsession of Diane Fossey. Okay, I don't think
Is
she
it
went to
not
Duke, but
coming
I'm
up?
sure it was just named after her.
Probably. 'Cause it just
Wow.
sounds so familiar.
She's a big deal. She's a really big deal.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, because Jane Goodall worked with primates. She worked with chimps, right?
Chimpanzees, yeah,
Yeah,
bonobos. Or yeah,
right.
chimps.
Wow. So cool. Okay, well, we're getting sidetracked. I gotta let you go. Have a night.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my
um,
dog on a walk.
oh, cute. All right, well, enjoy. We will be in touch. And thank you again. I'm sure I really enjoyed this, and I'm sure everyone else did too.
Yeah, that was fun. It was nice catching up with you.
You too. You too. I'm excited to chat more soon.
Yeah.
All
And I want
right.
to do my own, to be the
What?
first vet on Twitch. That would be, I want to be the first vet
Yes.
on Twitch. That would be freaking cool.
Let's make it happen. Literally, whenever you want to chat about it, I will like we could talk about it tomorrow. I can show you how it all works.
Yeah.
It would be
I'm,
awesome.
yeah.
I have a whole team in LA too. They could maybe help you if you need help.
Really? Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Cool. Sweet.
Okay. Well,
All right, we'll
have a good
talk
night. We'll be
soon.
in touch.
All
Okay,
right.
bye.
Bye.